Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kaustubha. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York City, Kaustubha Das. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Walk on Wednesday. Before we get all excited with Raghunath the little fanboy, we are going to, before we welcome Nityananda Prabhu, I want to say welcome to you, Kaustubha. How are you?
I'm doing fine, Raghunath. Actually feeling surcharged with spiritual energy this morning, you know? Ooh. You see, I'm giving you a little Radha Damodar Darshan because it's the Rasa Purnima tonight. See? Can you see?
The Rasa Purnima. I see in the background. Thank you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If you're not watching on Zoom, we can see Kaustubha's altar in the background. And then if you don't know what's going on, last night, actually it started officially, I think at 10 a.m. this morning, Eastern time. The full moon, the Purnima, the beginning of the month of the holy Damodar Mas, right? It's Kartik. It's the day that they say 1,000 times, triple your coupons, triple your bhakti, multiply it by 1,000. Whatever you do, throw 1,000 on it. Multiply it by 1,000. Your devotion, your offering, your love. You're going to offer a pair today, Mara? Pears are in season? 1,000 pairs. You've just offered 1,000 pairs today. That's what we're talking about. It's a special month. And anyway, we had a sweet baby Krishna to celebrate last night, and it was quite wonderful. We read the story. You know what? Sometimes you got to reread these stories again and just be like, this story is mind-blowing. And we read the story of Sudam Brahman getting all the benedictions from Krishna, never asking for anything, always feeling secure in his love for Krishna, and Krishna just showering blessings, although he already felt blessed. Mm-hmm. It was a great story. I had Mara,
such a sweet devotee, that Sudam
the Brahman.
I love that story.
Yeah, I love the story. Bunky was there. Mara came over. We had a little.
Mara actually came over.
Mara came over.
So that's like old days when Mara used to actually be in the studio.
The old days when Mara used to get me a little drink. Remember those days? Years ago. So
pick up the phone when you knocked it over for the Instagram thing.
Yes. Now you're reminiscing.
Yeah.
Well, it is a special day. It's Walk on Wednesday, and so me, the little fanboy that I am, I invited Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Now, I as soon as I was Nityananda is our go-to Sanskrit pundit. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I said Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya this morning, I'm like, I must be saying it wrong. I know I'm saying it wrong. I know he's going to be all over me after the show. I'm really nervous around people like you. I've been saying these Sanskrit words wrong all these years. What should I do? Welcome. He's live in Baroda, which is in Gujarat, where he lives with his family. Western India. And I want to thank you for joining us this morning. We're going to pick your brain, if you don't mind.
Please.
Well, that's what we do. Every Wednesday, we invite a guest on. If you're new to this, Walk on Wednesday, we invite a guest on for 10 or 15 minutes, pick their brain, especially if they have something very valuable to offer. And you, my friend, are a treasure trunk, a treasure vault.
Trove.
trove, perhaps, of Vedic wisdom.
Cornucopia.
Would you like to share something about the month of Damodar, Damodarastakam, something about Sanskrit? Lead us.
Definitely. Well, first of all, it's a personal reflection on it. Month of Damodar was the time when I just started visiting the Hare Krishna temple back in my home country in Latvia.
In Latvia.
Latvia, Riga. So I remember that atmosphere, that each time I would go there for prasad in the restaurant, I would come out and visit the temple room, and temple room lights were off, and devotees and the guests would offer the lamps on the altar to Damodar, and that beautiful song would be sung every day. And this was, I can't find a better word to express this experience as just being magical. And when the month was over, I really felt something was missing in my life, and I started coming more and more to the temple. And
that old Krishna addiction kicked in. Similar to any other addiction, except this one lifts you higher instead of makes you lose all your teeth and your money. So congratulations that you got that Krishna addiction. And I didn't give you a little intro, but Nityananda is our Sanskrit pundit. He's been living in India for many years, studying, teaching, does online courses. As a matter of fact, a lot of our people love you. A lot of our Wisdom Sages listeners love you, follow you, take your courses. And I've recently restarted taking course with you. So I got a little inspired. And yeah, this is sort of a magical month. I could understand the addiction. If you're new to it also, Nityananda Prabhu was mentioning that little candles or little ghee wicks or candles are offered with the lights off to the deities. And it's not just the priest who does it. It's everybody who comes into the temple gets a little candle to offer. And it's just this very sweet, intimate connection that the devotee gets to have, almost like even if you're new to it. And I can say for myself, it's very moving as well. And you want to talk a little bit about Damodarastaka, perhaps the song that we sing, and where's it from, and where do you want to go from there? Please.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a beautiful song that our previous acharyas, preceptors, teachers have been singing during this month and have told us to do that. And it's coming from one of the scriptures called Padma Purana, written by, it's a prayer written by one of the sages, Satyavrata Muni. And it's just a beautiful glorification of Krishna, specifically of his Damodara pastime. It's the pastime when Yashoda tied Krishna to a grinding mortar for being too naughty. And then the act of tying Krishna, who is Krishna? Krishna is the one who comprises the whole creation in him. So the very act of tying him up is not a small feat. So there are like pages of commentaries written about that very fact, how a devotee of God can tie him, and
only a devotee would be able to. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
and this is just one of the one side of the pastime, and the pastime goes on how Krishna, he's still naughty despite of being bound. So he drags this mortar behind him, passes in between two ancient trees that stand in the courtyard of his father, Maharaja Nanda, who were actually cursed demigods, sons of Kuvera, who became too proud, and they were cursed by Narada to become trees.
Every tree has a backstory. And that's their backstory. They were cursed to become trees in Maharaj Nanda's courtyard. Okay, continue.
So, which was actually an indirect blessing for them, because this was the way they were able to directly see the supreme form of God, Krishna. So, and he, just to fulfill the his devotees' desire, so that those cursed demigods see him, he passed in between the trees, they fell and they came out, and Krishna granted them pure love for him, sent them back to their abode to continue performing their duties. And that's all. And that's the pastime. But there are a lot of aspects of that specific parental affection that Yashoda has for Krishna, how Krishna allows himself to be controlled by his Vrindavan devotees, which he doesn't do so much with the devotees in other abodes like, Ayodhya, Dwaraka, and so on. Or he does, but to a certain degree. But in Vrindavan, he's a plaything. He's a plaything in the hands of the gopis, in the hands of his parents and friends and everybody. So it's just a beautiful prayer, and the language is so beautiful, and the meter is so beautiful also.
What's the meter called?
The meter is called Bhujanga Prayata in Sanskrit. Literally, it means departure of a snake. And I wanted to share this small story because what we learned from the teachers of this science of meters in Sanskrit, which is called Chandas, is that the meters, the science of meters, who's responsible for it is Sheshanaga, Ananta Shesha. He's the
Sheshanaga. So that is the multiple-headed serpent that you see above Lord Vishnu. Yeah. He isn't. All right, try to understand this, people. That snake above Lord Vishnu, he's in charge of the Sanskrit meters. Yeah. you can't make this stuff up, that the snake is in charge. Okay, please continue.
Yeah. So he, there's a story that he actually descended to the earth one time for his reasons. And there is an ancient enmity between him and Garuda for some reason. Huh. And I haven't researched well on that, but anyway, they're
snakes
enemies.
And birds, they don't get along.
Yeah, they're always at each other's throats.
So Garuda captured him, and Ananta and Shesha said, I'm the one who I'm basically I know the science of Sanskrit poetic meters. So if you swallow me up, this science will be lost. So why don't I teach you first? And once you've learned it from me, you can do with me whatever you like. You can eat me up and let me go. So, okay,
just
fine.
Make sure he passes it on.
Yes. So Shesha started reciting various poetic meters, ta-dun, 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 and some are very intricate. Dun, 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 ta-ta-dun, dun, ta-ta-dun, dun. Anyway, there are hundreds of them in Sanskrit. So
there are hundreds. That's a question I have, by the way. How many meters are there? Is it like hundreds, or is there like 7?
No, there are hundreds, actually. Hundreds. It depends how you divide them.
Okay.
But
like the Bhagavad Gita has only 2. Is that correct?
Yeah. It has 2.
How about the Bhagavatam?
Well, Bhagavatam has about 20.
You know what? We should learn from you all 20 so that we can chant them very beautifully. Okay. That would be a great. Let's do that. You're hired. If you'll take us. Yeah. Do you have a course for that, Bhagavatam meters?
I think I should make one.
You should. You should. Yeah. We'll endorse it like crazy. Right? Mara, would you do that?
Sure.
Karuna would do it.
Karuna would do it. Let's keep this. You're like Garuda and the snake. You and Karuna.
Just wait till we take over the show. We're
Okay,
scheming.
Nityananda Prabhu, continue, please.
Just to keep the long story short, when he saw Garuda being just totally in trance, listening to all these meters, he understood. Okay, it's a chance to escape. So
he got enchanted.
Yeah, he started reciting this specific meter, which he called departure of a snake, because he wanted to slither out. So ta-tan tan ta-tan tan ta-tan tan ta-tan tan, and probably there was some verses written in it. So Garuda was totally entranced, and then he said Bhujanga Prayata, Bhujanga Prayata, Bhujanga. So he repeated 4 times, and as Garuda had his eyes closed, the Shesha just jumped into the water and escaped. And then Garuda said, wait, you cheated me. He said, no, I didn't cheat you. I gave you 4 times warning that the snake is departing. The snake is departing. And so you didn't care for it. So okay, my condition is fulfilled. So goodbye.
Do you
This
think
is valuable information. Thank
Do you-
you. This is a great story.
Do you think that the meter also like reflects the movement of the snake going like back and forth, like how the snake moves? Could that be part of it?
I think you can relate to it, the feel of the meter.
Mhm.
So this is the meter. Namami Shvarang Satchidananda Rupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam Yashoda Bhiyolo Kaladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyan Tato Drutya Gopya.
That's very snaky. That's very snaky. I felt.
Yeah.
Now, is melody? Can you choose any melody you like, or or are there specific melodies that go with the meters as well?
There are no specific melody meter conditions. It's just there are some conventions, like people kind of used to sing this prayer on this melody, but it's not really written on stone. You can make your own melodies, or you can choose a variety of traditional melodies.
Okay.
So it's not so, yeah.
But the
strict.
meter is more written in stone. Okay, that's good to know.
The metrical pattern, what you hear, ta-tan, tan, ta-tan, tan, that has to be observed. Melody can be.
Prabhu, I'm sorry. Any particular verses from this Damodarastaka that really jump out at you that you love that would like to break down or share with us? Put you on the hot seat for this.
Yeah, I like that Namo Deva, the 6th verse.
Please.
Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishnu Prasida Prabho Dukkha Jalabdhimagnam Kripadrishti Vrishtyati Dinam Batanu Grihane Shamamagnyamedhyakshidrishya. So it's just a call out to Krishna. O Deva, O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu. Prasida Prabhu, please be satisfied with me. I am drowning in an ocean of samsara. And so please shower on me your merciful glance and just accept me and become visible to my eyes. And this is one important point of this prayer, which he repeats a couple of times, and which the acharyas describe as the ultimate prayer of this prayer. Become visible to my eyes. It's prayer to Krishna to actually be in front of you. That's there. Edhyakshidrishya.
Beautiful. Can you just share? I know you don't have that much time, but I know you're working on a very relevant, practical course about just what is it about the pronunciation of the things that we say on a normal basis that we say wrong. Is that it?
Yeah, it's basically the title of the course is Sanskrit pronunciation for ISKCON. So
you're a genius. You're a genius. That is so needed.
Yeah. So I basically what I did, I took the standard songbook, which all the devotees use, starting with Sangsara, Dava, Nala, Lead, Haloka, Tundrasingha prayers, to Tulasi, couple of Tulasi shloka, whatever is in Sanskrit, including Damodarastaka. So I've recorded the demos from Sanskrit perspective, how to sing and chant these prayers without compromising on the beat side. And then there are in-depth tutorials where I take each prayer and I really zoom into each line, and I pick on some problematic words, like point out different traps in pronunciation. So kind of it's really, I think it is a very useful course already. Like a few hundred people have enrolled in it, and it's absolutely free.
Oh, really?
So-
Oh, this is great. And is that link? Can we put that link on the board, Mara?
It's up
Yeah.
there, Prabhu. I just
It's up
posted it.
there already. Okay, fantastic. Another question: Are our songs? And there's a good simple question, and I should know this. Are our songs in Sanskrit or Bengali, or are they both?
Mixture. Some songs are in Bengali, some songs are in Sanskrit. So our repertoire is made primarily of these two languages, Sanskrit and Bengali.
Is it the equivalent of understanding like French to Latin or Italian to Latin when you're reading Bengali or Hindi?
I think it's a good comparison. I think,
Okay.
yeah, because the type of Bengali which is used, for example, in Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs, is a very Sanskritized Bengali. So basically,
Okay.
vocabulary is very similar. It's just Sanskrit has more detailed grammar structure to it.
Okay, fantastic. Well, Prabhu, we are really honored that you're part of our, we feel like you're part of our family here at Wisdom of the Sages. And we're all taking shelter of your courses. SanskritSense.com is Nityananda's website. You can check out all the stuff he does. He loves teaching, and he's one of these people. He's just a natural teacher. The way you put the courses together are very, very lucid, clear, easy to understand. I'm incredibly impressed at the time you spent on just making the course. And even though we're not like in person with each other, it's almost better in the sense like you really do it well using technology. So thank you so much, and thanks for joining us on our morning show, Prabhu.
Yeah, thank you. Always happy.
Thank
Say
you,
some
Nityananda.
prayers. We can come and visit soon. We want to go back to India.
Welcome.
Have a happy Kartik and love to your family.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you, Prabhu.
Thank
How do
you,
you will.
Nityananda.
All right, so let's dive into the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu, are you ready, Kaustubh?
I'm ready. Maybe we should have
No,
Nityananda
not-
Prabhu chant the.
Yeah,
the
let's
rest of
get
it.
Nityananda. Yeah, Prabhu, can you chant Narayanam Namaskritya for us?
Narayanam namaskritya narang chaiva narottamam deving saraswating vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishthiki.
In Om Jnana.
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitan yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Can you give us the word for word translation for Om Jnana, please?
Okay, I bow down to the spiritual master who has opened my eyes that were blinded by ignorance. Jnananjana with the tool of knowledge.
Like a scalpel.
Yeah, that's kind of a yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, they use
Yeah.
for some incisions. So this kind of a
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. That was beautiful. I'm never doing it again now until I take that Sanskrit course.
You're so inspired, you're never going to do it again.
Thanks, Prabhu. And we are not offended if you have to leave. Well, we understand this is what happens on Walk on Wednesdays because we pull people in from crazy time zones. So thank you for joining us. And if you want to stay, you're more than welcome. And if you want to leave, we totally understand. Hare Krishna. So yeah, Kaustubha, we had a beautiful reading of Sudam the Brahmin yesterday. It was just like one powerful verse after another. And, you know, it's amazing how these stories, which read almost like a children's story, are so weighty, you know. And we're going to do it again tonight. We're going to have a sweet baby Krishna tonight.
You're gonna do Sharad Purnima related pastime?
Well, we are doing Sweet Baby Krishna marathons this month. So we're sort of all over the place, truthfully.
All right, but you know, it is that night. Maybe we should discuss this a little bit, you know, what tonight is.
All right, let's start right here. The Sharad Purnima, the Rasa Lila.
Yeah, this is the full moon. Sharad means
It's season, right? Sharad's the
Yeah.
season.
The fall season, right?
Yeah.
This season of year, and the full moon in this season, right, is in India. I imagine, especially northern India, it's considered just the most beautiful night. We call it the harvest moon, I think, right? Like, or I don't know if it's the exact same full moon, but the idea is in the fall that the sky is very clear and that moon shines very bright, right?
Sam Hain.
I don't know anything about Sam Hain.
I don't think it's that.
Okay, but in any case, it's a full moon night, and it's the night that Krishna chooses to. He goes on this perfect night. The weather's perfect, the sky is perfect, the moon is perfect, and he goes to the bank of the Yamuna River, and he takes out his flute, and he plays that flute, right? Standing under the Vangsivata tree, which you can still go visit today. It's one of my favorite places to visit in Vrindavan is the Vangsivata tree. And so he plays that flute, and when he plays that flute, it's not just ordinary flute playing, but it's his heart, it's his love calling out to the gopis, right? To his pure devotees. They're all in their homes, they're all busy taking care of their domestic, activities in different ways. But when they hear that sound enter into their ears, it goes straight to their hearts, and it calls them to come to him, right? And so this pastime of, they all come out to the forest to meet him, and and then to dance with him. And this pastime, it's the depth to this pastime, we just can't really honor it properly. But there's so much meaning to it. The meaning about that this is actually, God is calling us at every moment to come and dance with him. We're neglectful of it.
I like that translation.
That idea.
The idea of, like, you get it on your computer. It's like, time to upgrade your operating system. That thing drops down, and it's sort of like, remind me later. This is like what's going always on in our consciousness. God is saying, time to upgrade, and I'm hitting remind me later. And then sometimes I hit never see this message again. This is called being in deep Maya. Never see this. I never want to be told to upgrade my life ever again. Stop pestering me. But there is something, and I think it's safe to say people who are a little bit in tune will be like, we need to upgrade our life. We need to make better choices in our life. We need to get more connected in life. I need to slow it down a little bit. I need to get out of my mind. It's a constant tapping on the shoulder by God, the divine, the universe, whatever, sweet baby Krishna, to take our next life to the next level.
Sure.
And this is Krishna, and he's calling. And this is the day. This is the day. He's calling on his flute. Drop everything. Put it all behind. Even give up your so-called responsibilities and just come surrender to me. And Krishna's calling us. This is the day.
And that's really, I like to speak of it like this, is that really of all of Vyasadeva's works, going from the four Vedas to the Upanishads to the Mahabharata, finally, all of the Puranas, and then you get to Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam builds and builds and builds itself. When you get to the 10th canto, you're at you're at the ripened fruit. Not the Bhagavatam itself is the ripened fruit of all of Vyasadeva's works, but the 10th canto is like the essence of it all. And the 5 chapters that describe this night, the Rasa Lila, those are considered to be the essence of it all. And so when the gopis, when they hear that flute and they come right and they leave everything, and this is the idea, right? We search for happiness through so many different things in so many different ways. And we think that they're important and they're worthy of our time and our energy and our effort and so on. But when the gopis came before Krishna, he said, "What are you doing? Why'd you come out here in the middle of the night? This isn't right. Girls coming out here to be with a boy. It's immoral. He's suggesting like that. You should all turn around and go back home." And then they pray to him, and that prayer is so important, because in one sense, that prayer is the very essence of what all of this yoga and all of this spirituality is really where it's meant to bring us. That the essence of what they share is that, you're telling us to go back to our lives. In other words, to go back and find your happiness in the things that we're always searching for happiness through. But we've turned our backs on that. We've risked everything, and we've left it all behind because we simply want to serve you with love. And so our only prayer to you is, please accept us. Please accept us. And that's really where all of this yoga is meant to lead us to, that we just come to that point, right? Enough of my trying to be the controller and the enjoyer of the material world. I simply want to reconnect with God. Please accept me, like that. And then they have their dance. In that dance, you know, the Rasa Lila, you'll see many paintings of it, right? You'll see it depicted in different ways. And in India, a lot of, like, let's say, what's the right word? A lot of speakers, there's a lot of, let's say, popular religious figures that will speak on this, pastime.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. But to those that really understand it, that those are really in the tradition, when they present it like it's a romantic thing, and people come to hear it from a, almost like someone reads a Harlequin romance or something like that, from a very mundane perspective. And it actually is very painful to the hearts of those that truly understand, because you're taking that most sacred, beautiful Lila, most sacred and beautiful revelation, and bringing it down to our level, So this, it has its erotic kind of language in there and meaning to it and all, but to really understand it, the idea is it's the purest expression of love is expressed through this dance. The greatest beauty, the deepest love is expressed through this dance. So this night is a very, it opens the door to the Kartik month, whereas Nityananda was saying the month of Kartik is really celebrating this, not just love of God itself, because there's different ways people love and respect God, but this is that very intimate love of God that we find in the residents of Vrindavan in the Bhagavatam, where they love God in a very deeply personal way. And that kind of love controls God. It's all that God lives for, is the exchange of this kind of love. And he's so into it that he makes himself vulnerable to it. And it said that he becomes controlled by it. So this song, the Damodarastaka, is how due to his mother's love, she was able to control him. She was able to tie him up like that. In other words, that love is the highest principle, and this divine love is more powerful even than God himself, even more powerful than the most powerful. So there's
now you're throwing me back into the Sudam story.
Oh, yeah,
That was his whole thing, which was, it's just like, I mean, Lord Krishna is like, he's the source of all the demigods. He's worshipped by Indra and Brahma and Surya. And he's the husband of the goddess of fortune. He possesses all wealth. Who am I? I'm like barely a Brahmin. I'm like a friend of a Brahmin. He doesn't even call himself a Brahmin. He's like, I'm like a poor beggar. And he's embracing me with his own arms. He's asking me to come up and sit on his bed with him. And in that love and overwhelm, it's like, here is Krishna, the source of everything, who's like, no, and he's washing the feet. He's like, Krishna sat me down and washed my feet, and then massaged my feet, and then dried my feet, and then asked the goddess of fortune to start fan me. Rukmini started fanning him. And it was just like one loving gesture after another, how Krishna becomes so attached to his devotees. You know what I like, Kaustubha? I like just hearing you express your heart. Mara, imagine if like Kaustubha is just expressing that heart, that deep life, and all of a sudden he just like bursts into flames. I was thinking, what a way to leave your body. You're just like expressing your sentiments about Radha and Krishna and the Rasa Purnima, and you just leave your, what? Did you see that? Kaustubha left his body on the show.
Spontaneous, what is it called? Spontaneous
combustion.
Yeah.
Our ratings would skyrocket.
Ratings. Well, did you see that episode? Let's make a little clip of it when Kaustubha burst into flames. That was great.
But we were talking yesterday about everyone takes vows during this month to increase the but one thing I want to do, I don't know if I call it exactly a vow that I'm taking, because it's not, but I want to, my wife said, I just want to study the Govardhan Lila. It's one of the pastimes that's celebrated in this month in particular, where Krishna lifts Govardhan Hill, and it's a very rich pastime with all kinds of nuances and all kinds of messages in it. So she just wants to spend this month, studying that pastime, all the different teaching, all the things that are learned through it. It's nice, right? But I think I may do that with this pastime, with the Rasa Lila, because there is so much in it. It's a very esoteric pastime. I don't ever see myself as teaching it on that esoteric level, but just really understanding it practically, what it means in our theology, what's conveyed there.
Okay.
I think is something I want to study.
Here's my vow. You ready?
Yeah,
I'm going to do you know how people do social media vows, like no social media for a month? I'm doing the opposite. I'm going
tons of social media.
I'm going to go on social media every day and do the Bhagavad Gita.
That's great.
What do you think of that? Just like 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to start today. I'm just putting that out there today at noon. I'm going to go live, but I'm going to also save it on those buttons on Instagram. And I'm just going to give a chapter a day, part of a chapter every day. And I'll stretch it to 30 days, or I'll just do 18 days for 18 chapters.
Beautiful.
Haven't thought about that yet.
Well, then, okay. And then what do you do the rest of the month?
Something very clever and beautiful, but I haven't figured it out yet.
Figure that
But
out.
or I just extend it to be 30 days.
Yeah.
I thought it would be sort of cool. 18 days of Gita, 18 days of the war, 18 chapters. What do you think about that, Mary?
Well, I mean, the war, and I don't know if it totally coincides with the Damodar theme and all of that.
No, it doesn't. It's not Damodar. It's just the Bhagavad Gita made very relevant and practical, because I want to do something. Yeah, it's not. No.
All right.
But it's something. It's something. It's like a little.
It's beautiful. It's wonderful. But again, we recommend that everyone. Why don't we take the rest of the show? Why don't we go through the Damodarastaka? And we have Nityananda Prabhu here, so he could chant the Sanskrit and we could read the translation. Should we do that?
Yeah. Okay. Nick, you're back on. I know we relieved you about 20 minutes ago. We're dragging you back in here. He's like, oh man.
Just when you thought you were out.
Doing my taxes. Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question for Nityananda before we go anywhere.
Yeah.
Can you tell us the difference between a stotram and a stava? So there's these prayers called like the stava mala, and what is or an astakam? How do you break? How are these prayers broken down like this? An astakam, dashakam.
Yeah, the name Ashtaka means 8 verses. Dashaka means 10 verses. So often prayers are like the form is named after the number of the verses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost like a haiku has a certain number of syllables and lines. So ashtakam means you can compose it in 8 verses.
Yeah. And then stotra and stava. So even though grammatically and lexically it's very similar, practically they're synonyms. But I just read it that I think Jiva Goswami explains it that stava refers particularly to your own compositions which you recite. For example, you compose a song, and that would be called a stava for you. So for you, it is a stava.
Okay, like a prayer that you're composing from your heart.
I see.
Whereas a stotram is more of what the acharyas or the masters
handed down.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that's
interesting. We say generally people. It was nice how Nityananda Prabhu, how you described how your first days of visiting a temple in Latvia. There was a mood going on in that temple, right? Because at this month, it's almost like Christmas time for the Bhakti-yogis. If you want to try to put it into Judeo-Christian,
Christmas
Western
time for the Bhakti-yogis.
Isn't it like that? Like people like wait for Christmas and they're all excited, and all of the things that come with it, excite one, and it feels very warm and special, and so. That's kind of this month is kind of like that, because as he said, like there's some special beauty in the song, and there's some special beauty in lowering the lights and offering a lamp, to Radha and Krishna, meditating on these, and then people take vows to increase the depth of their devotion, and so you have 30 days or so of carrying out that vow and deepening one's practice. So it's just special all around.
Yeah, and that's that song we sing, the 30 days of Kartik, my guru came to me.
and so but if you want to take a vow and you want to keep it simple, we could recommend just singing this song every day. You can put a little picture of Krishna or Radha and Krishna and sing this song, or even read it if you have trouble singing it, and recite it and pray, follow that prayer. And if you like, also offer a lamp. If you just do those 2 things, maybe Nityananda Prabhu, do you know, is it said the benefit that one gets if they offer a lamp every day for the month of Kartik?
Honestly, I forgot, but there are descriptions.
It's really good.
immense. It's immense.
It's immense. It's like more spiritual work than you've done your whole life is just by going through the month and offering that lamp every day, right?
Okay, we got that.
Another name for this month is Urja. So
Urja.
Urja means power.
Power.
So the power month.
Okay, the power month.
We like that. We're Americans. We like those. Power month.
Power month. Yeah, it's in
Power month.
Sanskrit.
Superfood. It's a superfood month.
Okay, so Prabhu, could you chant the first verse from the Damodarastaka?
Yeah, sure. I'll let me just switch on my tampura.
Oh, there you go. Have tambura, will travel.
Narda Mooney.
Namami Ishvaram Satchidanandarupam Lasatkundalam Gokule Bhrajamanam Yashodabhiyolu Khaladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Drutya Gopya.
Okay, now this verse it kind of opens up the Damodarastaka theme. It says, to the Supreme Controller, to Krishna, who possesses an eternal form of blissful knowledge, whose glistening earrings swing to and fro, who manifested himself in Gokula, his spiritual realm, who stole the butter that the gopis kept hanging from their rafters in the storeroom, and who then quickly jumped up and ran in retreat in fear of Mother Yashoda. Now, there's a lot of explanation to this, but try to understand that this is God's play, and it's a type of play wherein it increases the exchanges of love. So now he's running in fear of his mother, who thinks, oh, I'm his mother, I have to discipline him. But he was ultimately caught, right? She could even run faster than God. Her love was able to capture him. He was ultimately caught. To that Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisance. I offer my obeisances unto that God who's even is afraid of his mother, whose love is so deep and who's entered so deep into this loving pastime that his mother becomes more powerful than him due to the depth
that
of
he
her
becomes vulnerable.
Yeah. There's so much to it. As Nityananda Prabhu was saying, you can write chapters and chapters of commentary on the meaning of these verses. Okay, Prabhu, text number 2.
Rudantam muhurnetra yugmam mrijantam Karambhoja yugmena satankanetram Muhushvasakampa trirekhankakantha Sthitagraivam damodaram bhaktibaddham.
You want to read it, Raghu?
Yes. I'm trying to do the translations myself, being the Sanskrit pundit that I am. Rudantam, he's crying, right? He's crying, rubbing his eyes. Karamboja yugmena satanka. I'll just read it. Okay.
Yeah, why don't we do that? We only have so much time.
Okay. Where is it? Where's the translation?
Oh, I mean, you just can Google it. I can read it if you haven't.
Okay. I'm like, where?
Apparently underneath the verse is where you'll find it.
Because there's all these benedictions.
Upon seeing his mother's whipping stick, he cried and rubbed his eyes again and again with his 2 lotus hands. So you're meant to meditate on this picture of God being so moved by the love of his mother that he's entered so deep into this Lila.
Yeah, you're not going to see this in Lord Ram or Lord Vishnu. Or Lord
what to speak of other traditions, presentations of God, right? He's crying. He's rubbing his eyes again, but it's so beautiful, that vision.
His breathing's quick, like when a child is really scared.
Yeah.
Their breathing's quick.
Hyperventilating, yeah. His eyes were fearful, and his breathing quick. And his mother Yashoda bound his belly with ropes. She's tying him up with her love. He shivered in fright, and his pearl necklace shook. To this Supreme Lord, Sri Damodar, I offer my humble obeisance. It's such a Vratamuni, the sage, that he's seeing this in his meditation, and he's conveying that meditation to us. Text
Okay,
number 3.
hold that one sec. Dr. Christopher, right when you said that, I didn't tell the story about anything, but I'm going to read the Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti Christopher writes in this benediction: a person who happily reads the Bhagavad Gita in the month of Kartik does not return to the world of birth and death. Kaustubha?
Boom. I'm going to do it then.
All right,
the
come
whole
on.
thing.
Come on. It's actually powerful.
It is. It's Power Month.
Powerful stuff. It's Power Month.
It's Power Month. Okay. Text number 3, Nityananda Prabhuji. This is a good one.
Svalilaabhiranandakunde Svagosham nimajjantamakhyapayantam Tadiye shitagneshu bhaktairjitatvam Punah prematastam shatavritti vande.
To those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood drowned the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy. They weren't
That's
just
a great
feeling
line.
ecstasy.
That is a T-shirt in itself.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Those super excellent pastimes of Lord Krishna's babyhood drowned the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of it just didn't sprinkle ecstasy on them.
No, there's pools. There was like a flood of ecstasy.
Yeah, and you know, for us to hear this, it sounds people that are experiencing this are feeling that they're drowning, right? Like there's
I think Kaustubha's feeling it right now, Mara.
I'm feeling because
at every moment I just picture him just lighting up on fire.
Okay.
By the way, when I say that, I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm gonna miss you. But I want you to when you leave, it's going to be quite beautiful.
You could jump on the fire and go with me.
I'll jump on your pyre. Are you kidding? If I get the benefit, I'm jumping on your pyre.
All right. Now a very important philosophical point is expressed in here, but it's done in the context of the ecstasy that they're feeling. We're getting both the esoteric and now we're getting the philosophical end here. To devotees who are attracted only to his majestic aspect of Narayan and Vaikuntha, to those that are worshiping God with awe and reverence rather than with intimate love, the Lord herein reveals, I am conquered and overwhelmed by pure loving devotion. To the Supreme Lord Damodar, my obeisance is hundreds and hundreds of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's steering us to understand that love of God is wonderful in its many varieties. But this intimate love, the love that when Yashoda ties up her little boy, she's not thinking this is God and I have awe for him. Her love is the love of a mother, and it's that kind of intimate love that Krishna is revealing here. It's not only moves him, it even controls him.
Bhakti Christopher, our resident pundit, says, if somebody performs even a little worship of Sri Hari in this month, Lord Hari offers that devotee his own abode.
No. Amazing.
From the
this is the Power Month. Welcome to the Power Month.
Bhakti Christopher Purana, we call that. All right.
Text number 4, Prabhu. Another important point.
Param deva moksham na mokshavadhim va na chanyam vrineham vareshadapiha idam te vapurnatha gopala balam tadame manasya virastam kimanyai.
So here, this verse is going to help us understand really what bhakti is. Bhakti is we're approaching the divine, we're approaching God, but without any personal motivator. I don't want the things of this world. And what this verse is showing is even I don't want liberation, even I don't want freedom from the sufferings of this world, which many people consider to be like the highest spiritual goal. Here it's being saying, no, this intimate love is the highest goal. And so Satyavrata Muni prays, O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for liberation, nor eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. I don't want anything for it. My only prayer is that your childhood pastimes may continue to appear in my mind. O Lord, I do not even want to know your feature of Paramatma, God in the heart. I simply wish that your childhood pastimes may be ever enacted in my heart. That's all. Right? Just lost in love for Krishna.
of Gopal, Natha Gopala Balam.
No, you see, Nityananda, I don't know if you know, but Raghunath, we think we know his Svarup, and it has to. He's an elderly gopi in Vrindavan. He loves little baby
Can you
Krishna.
look,
That's
can
his
you
thing.
look at my left eye and tell me that, Nityananda, what I am? Good look here.
I think he would like living in Gujarat over there with you, because Krishna's worshipped especially that way. Yes, as little baby.
Yes.
Pushti Marg.
Yeah. Okay. Text number 5.
Okay.
Idam te mukhambojamatyantanīlair Ritam kuntalai snigdharaktaischa gopya Muhushchumbitam bimbarakta me Manasya virastamalang lakshalabhai.
Okay. More guided meditation. This is something that the yogi will focus their mind on and picture in their mind and meditate on. And then it's revealed, once you're in that, there's nothing more that you could possibly want, right? O Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, has become reddened like bimba fruit.
What's a bimba fruit, Nityananda?
Bimba fruit. What is the bimba fruit?
Ever have a bimba fruit?
What's it like?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. It's almost like that kind of a cucumber thing, which is growing on the vine. So when it gets ripe, and it's really bright red.
Oh, okay. So all this mother he showed has been kissing him so much that his cheeks are all red. So, O Lord, the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which is encircled by locks of curling hair, have become reddened like bimba fruit due to Mother Yashoda's kisses. What more can I describe than this? Millions of
I like how the author is just like, I can't.
What more can I describe than this? Millions of opulences are of no use to me, but may this vision constantly remain in my mind. This is love, right? This
so
is
funny
love.
when we talk about the yoga and the yoga system, a yoga teacher training. We're like, okay, sit in meditation, calm your mind, think of your third eye, put your meditation on your third eye, picture a light, picture the syllable Om. No. Picture the cheeks of your blackish lotus face, which are encircled by locks of curling hair, and your cheeks are kissed repeatedly, and now they're turning red. This is your meditation.
There you go.
Get that other meditation, get that light out of the way, and put Krishna's adorable face right there in your third eye.
Okay. And now, Prabhu, with text 6, which you chanted earlier, but please chant it again.
Namo Deva Damodarananta Vishno Prasida Prabho Duhkajalabhimagnam Kripadrishti Vrishyati Dinam Batano Grihane Shamamagnyamedhyakshidrishya.
Now just calling out, right? Calling out to that Lord who he's been envisioning in his mind. O unlimited Vishnu, because Krishna is that Vishnu, comes from Krishna, right? O Master, O Lord, be pleased upon me. I am drowning in an ocean of sorrow, and I'm almost like a dead man. This is another mood of prayer, right? What is this? Do you know what this is called, Nityananda Prabhu? What is it? Lala Samai? Is that right?
It's more like a Vignapti.
A Vignapti, okay.
Revealing one's present condition.
I'm fallen. I need your mercy. That's a call.
I'm filled with dukkha. Make me sukha.
Yeah. So he's saying, be pleased upon me. I'm drowning in an ocean of sorrow, and I'm almost like a dead man. Right? There's no life left in me in this world. All of the petty stuff that we're going through in life and so on. Please shower the rain of mercy upon me. Uplift me.
Is
protect
a song
me.
For Trapped Down Under.
Trapped down.
Shower your rain of mercy.
Trapped down under. Please shower your rain of mercy on me. Uplift me and protect me with your nectarian vision.
That is beautiful.
Text 7. No. Oh, now this verse is about what Nityananda Prabhu was describing for Krishna after he was tied up, then he's crawling around, and he got the mortar that he was tied to got stuck between these two massive trees, And the little baby, little tender little baby Krishna somehow had the strength, pulled down both trees, and then these two, like devas, two godlike characters came out of the trees. They had been previously cursed, and the benediction was that Krishna would liberate them by eventually pulling down the trees. So we're hearing about that now.
Kuberatmajau baddhamurtyaiva yadvat Vayamochitau bhakti bhajau kritau cha Tatha prema bhaktim svakam me prayacha Namokshe graho me istidamodareha.
O Lord Damodar, in your form as a baby, Mother Yashoda bound you to a grinding stone with a rope for tying cows. You then freed the sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nalukuvera, who were cursed to stand as trees, and you gave them the chance to become your devotees. Please bless me in the same way. I have no desire for liberation into your effulgence.
You know, Nityananda, the first time I ever heard this pastime, I was like, oh, what a clever little story. But did the mom really try to tie the child up? I was like, what the heck? What kind of story is this? And but you know, it was about 5 years ago. I was at in Loy Bazaar. It was at Bunky Bihari Mandir, and there was one child being really naughty, and the mother grabbed the child by the hand and like slapped his hand, and then reached into her purse and took a little shoelace and tied it around his wrist, and then just tied it to a tree. And I was thinking, oh my God, this is like the Damodar Lila. It's like a timeout. It's not abusive. She's just tying her chin. Like, you know what they used to make us do when we were little? I don't know what Latvia was like. They would go stand in the corner. So you have to just leave whatever you're doing and look at the corner. When my parents were little, they'd have to stand in the corner and wear this giant cone-shaped hat they called the dunce cap. So I guess these are different timeouts. And one of them would be tying your child to a grinding mortar or to the wrist by a tree. Did you have a Latvia timeout?
Same corners.
Same corners. Okay.
You know, once, because when I was, when Radha Damodar, who are behind me right now, and people that they can see, when they were in the Broome Street Temple, which was, you know, a temple in downtown Manhattan, and also a yoga school.
Stanga yoga school. Yeah.
And Chris Martin from Coldplay used to practice yoga there every day.
This story's going to get good.
And he used to practice right in front of the Radha Damodar temple, which, you know, I would step into, like, in other words, how to describe it? It was like, it had these old Indian doors, and, you know, I would have to step up a few feet to get in there, and there's like a checkered marble floor and Radha Damodar in there, and a really beautiful little temple that I'm sitting inside. And I would chant, every day I would chant the Damodarastaka, because it's the prayers to Lord Damodar, which is my name of Krishna. So I would sing these prayers. And then one day he said to me, you know, you really ought to record that. You know, someone ought to do a recording of that, you know, or something like that. And
man, you could have been in Coldplay doing Damodarastaka.
And I said, well, other people have already done it. He said, well, you could do a cover version, you know. He says, what's it about? Tell me. I said, oh, well, it's these really, I started describing it, you know, and it's about how, you know, like Krishna's mother, like, ties him up. And as soon as I said that, I could see, like, he kind of winced, you know, like.
And a good wince or a bad wince?
Oh, no, bad one.
Tied him
like,
up.
yeah, like he didn't, yeah. and then I, you know, kind of had to try to, like.
That's where you need me. Let me bring my friend Raghunath. He'll explain.
Let me bring Raghunath. He'll explain to you.
He'll explain. It's not so bad.
It's
my children are tied up in the other room right now.
Well, Tarun, I can understand. But okay, this is the concluding verse. Very beautiful verse, super beautiful verse. Where, you know, I'll say well, go ahead. Let's chant it first. Please chant it, Prabhu.
Namaste studamne spuradipti dhamne Tvadiyodaraya vishvasya dhamne Namo radhikayai tvadiya priyayai Namo nantalilaya devaya tubhyam.
So there's a lot of meaning to this verse too. You know, it begins with namaste, right? Now I'm offering my deepest loving respect, right? Oh Lord, but first, there's going to be respect is going to be offered 3 places here, right? O Lord, the entire universe which was created by Lord Brahma, who was born from your abdomen. I'm sorry, let me say
Right,
it.
Brahma was born of the abdomen.
Brahma is born from the abdomen of Lord Vishnu, who is Krishna, right? So he says, the entire universe created by Lord Brahma, who was born from was created by Brahma, who was born from your abdomen, which was bound by the rope of Mother Yashoda. All right. So in other words, the universe secondarily comes out of your abdomen, but your mother tied that whole universe up in one sense, right? So he offers his obeisance. I offer my obeisances.
This is inconceivable.
It's inconceivable, right? So he says, to this rope, I offer my humble obeisances. In other words, that rope is...
That ain't no ordinary rope.
What is it that can control God, can control the whole universe? It's only divine love. So I'm offering my love to Bhakti itself, right? I'm offering my love. I'm offering my obeisances to Bhakti, which is the most powerful and beautiful force in all existence. So powerful, it's more powerful than the universe. It's more powerful than God himself. And then he says, and this month is also called, it's the month of Radha, right? It's Radha's month because it's the month of devotion to Krishna, and she is that devotion to Krishna personified. So then he concludes his prayer. I offer my obeisances to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and finally, to your unlimited pastimes. Right? This month is really about meditating on Krishna's pastimes. And therefore, Raghunath, Sweet Baby Krishna, you should do as many as possible this month.
It's a Sweet Baby Krishna marathon, my friend.
Welcome to the Power Month.
Starting tonight, the Power Month. Or let's do 7:30 tonight. Nityananda Prabhu, we want to thank you for joining the show. We love you. SanskritSense.com is his website if you want to get connected with the Sanskrit language. Transcendental sounds coming from higher dimensions. If you want to join us on Patreon tonight, patreon.com/wisdom of the sages. That's where all the magic happens. You enter into a vault, a treasure trove. Sweet Baby Krishna and other recorded classes that are backlogged in stacks and files, all there for your spiritual edification. Join us there. Remember, we have a big retreat going on in Cali, Colombia. Get the hell out of Dodge this January. Come join us January 12th. For about 8 days in Cali, Colombia. Mara's going to be there cooking her vegan meatballs. Kaustubha's going to be there doing his worship. I'll be there telling jokes. Join us all there. Maybe we get Nityananda to come there too.
Oh, that'd be great.
Eating incredible vegetarian food, doing various adventures. I'll be doing Sweet Baby Krishna every day. Kaustubha's going through the whole first canto, chapter 2 of the Bhagavatam. We call it enlighteningvacations.com. No, I just made that up. But if you're interested, Bhakti Retreats 108 at gmail.com. Bhakti Retreats 108 at gmail.com. Is that right? And Rachel's organizing all that stuff. Thanks to everybody for joining us. It's going to be an auspicious Kartik. See you tonight for Sweet Baby Krishna. And a big Harry Bowl to all of you.